Merry Christmas, my dear viewers. It is I, Drayhan, and You gotta be kidding me. Now? Fine. Happy Valentine's Day, my dear viewers. And do you know what I love more than this magical holiday? You've got to be kidding me. Now what? Fine. Happy Easter? Yeah, there we go. Okay, happy Easter, my dear viewer. You know what? Let's just start this video. Welcome, brothers and sisters. It is I, Drayhan, and welcome back to Theory Break. Today, we will continue to piece together the truth of the Pokemon Timeline. If you have not seen my first video, I suggest you watch it before taking on this one. In that video, I explain how Ash's journey came before Red's, and how they are two different people in the same universe. Many other YouTubers have covered the timeline as well, so I will be sure to add links to their videos in the description of this one. Now, we have a great deal to cover, so let us begin with explaining to new viewers what exactly I do here on Theory Break. In this series, I tackle theories from across the globe, some with a bit of backbone, and some with no evidence to stand on. To debunk these theories, I must travel through the darkest corners of reality to find the truth. Of course, I need theories to break. So this will be the only thing I ask from you, my viewers. Tell me a theory that you have seen or heard of in the comments down below, and the most liked suggestions will be a topic for a future Theory Break. This time, I will continue to connect Ash Ketchum from the Pokemon anime to the protagonist from the games. So who am I going to cover this time? For my next chapter, let me introduce you to the trainer that conquered both Kanto and Johto, the boy who defeated Red. Rise up, Trainer Ethan! Now, I already know what some of you might say in the comments, and I will shoot those down first. The games Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver were released in November of 1999, while the Johto series of the anime was first aired in October of 1999, roughly 1 month prior. Now, the first point I want to go over are the two towers we see in the Generation 2 games, the Burn Tower and the Bell Tower, also known as the Brass and Tin Towers, respectively. Now, I want to go over the more important of the two towers first. According to both the games and the anime, Ho-Oh once roosted on the Brass Tower when it was still known as the Bell Tower. However, a storm broke and lightning struck the tower, causing it to erupt into flames. When Ho-Oh saw this, it resurrected 3 Pokemon that died in the tower, causing them to become the legendary beasts. Ho-Oh then left, never to return. That is, until Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Alright, Drayhan, sure. Ho-Oh returned in the Generation 2 games, but that doesn't prove Ash and Brendan are in the same universe. You are correct, my hypothetical viewer. Although this point is nothing more than a coincidence. So let me give you the final nail in this metaphorical coffin. Let me introduce you to an item that was meant to be forgotten in the anime, but made a reappearance in Pokemon Crystal. The GS Ball. From what many PokeTubers will tell you, the GS Ball was an arc in the anime that would eventually tie into Celebi. But with Pokemon Forever having Celebi as its main legendary, they scrapped the idea. However, that's not the end of the story. In Pokemon Crystal's Celebi event, a Japanese exclusive Celebi event, mind you, Ethan obtains the GS Ball and manages to summon Celebi with it. Now to assure you a bit further, the GS Ball was first seen in episode 81 of the anime, and was last seen in episode 117. Now, these episodes were released in 1999, while Pokemon Crystal was released in December of 2000. So, where does that leave us? According to many sources, Ethan began his journey roughly 3 years after Red, which places him here on the timeline. Like I said in the last video, this is only covering how Ash fits into the timeline. And with Ash having traveled to Hoenn, I'm sorry, I cannot speak today, we must now take a look at the canonicity of his second female companion, May. How does May fit into the timeline? Well, with her being Ash's companion, it seems pretty obvious, right? Not exactly. May is not only in the anime, but a protagonist option in the Generation 3 games as well. This will give us our first split in the canon timeline. So back to my question. How does she fit into the timeline? Well, for starters, May's father is the gym leader, Norman. She chooses Torchic as her starter Pokemon, helps stop the battle between Kyogre and Groudon, and she takes part in contests. Now, while, yes, you are able to collect gym badges and participate in contests, May seems to canonically prefer contests. But what about Wally? He doesn't appear in the anime. You know, that kid with a special sickness that nobody really knows about. In the games, you help him become a trainer by helping him capture a Ralts. If May doesn't help Wally, who does? Well, have you ever thought about the other protagonist that appears in the anime? The kid who chased away a Salamence. Brendan.
Brendan isn't in the anime, you moron!
Oh? Well then, my hypothetical viewer, you most likely missed this particular scene, because I sure did. This scene comes from Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. And if we zoom in here, we can see that this trainer is indeed Brendan. Now, this isn't the first time we see Brendan in a Generation 3 anime. He is seen again in Jurati Wishmaker, using Aggron and Shiftry in a double battle. Like I mentioned previously, there is a split in the timeline. One path only follows May, while the other leads to Ash's journey through Hoenn. Now, with that out of the way, let us dive into one of my favorite regions, Generation 4's Sinnoh region. Now, before we talk about Dawn, Ash's companion for this region, I want to cover Lucas, the male protagonist option of these games. Much like Brendan, we also see Lucas in the movies, facing off against none other than Brendan, who has a Rhyperior, and Lucas uses a Magmortar. This goes to show that our male leads actually have a life after their main adventures. Anyway, this scene comes from Giratina and the Sky Warrior. So this proves Lucas is as canon as Dawn is. Now, as we know from the anime, Dawn's journey with Ash fits the story that plays out in the games almost to a T. From her starter being Piplup to her holy journey to stop Team Galactic. In addition, much like May participating in contest, Dawn canonically is a coordinator. And according to the anime, she does have a childhood connection with Barry. To be honest, Dawn would have been a great protagonist just by leaving Ash in Kanto. Now, if these two small pieces of evidence didn't secure just this generation's spot in the timeline, Professor Oak sure will. For those of you who don't know, Professor Oak visited the Sinnoh region during the 4th generation's run. In the games, we aren't really given a reason. Most of us were probably just excited to have our Pokédex given an upgrade to even really care why. However, in episode 139, or 605, we see that Oak is there for a lecture at the Twin Leaf Festival. And you can see this also lines up with the release dates of both the games and the episode itself. Now that we know that Dawn does in fact fall somewhere in the timeline, where is the problem? I do have evidence to help with that, but it does contradict something I said in the previous video. So I must confirm the evidence and its canonicity before jumping to conclusions. That is how most of these stupid theories begin, after all. However, that will have to be covered in the future, because I am out of time. Join me next time as we tackle the last two legs of Ash's journey, Generations 5 and 6. Seeing as these are the only two generations left, what was that? What? Generation 7? Well, yes, I did plan on covering Sun and Moon as well, seeing as many people have found a picture of Ash and his Pikachu hidden within one of the areas. But I was going to cover that when I went over the other games that didn't have an anime equivalent. Seriously? I mean, sure, there's that new movie, but well, alright. I'll take a look. I mean, X and Y was an almost perfect series. The artwork was drastically improved, and the tone was amazing. I just wish I could have finished it completely. Surely Sun and Moon will be just as... Uh... I'm... I'm going to have to watch this, aren't I? Ooh, flying fudge monkeys. Hello again, viewers. You may be wondering who I was referring to when I said brothers and sisters at the beginning of the video. I was referring to my small pool of subscribers. Many YouTubers have their cute nicknames for their followers, such as Birdkeeper Togi's Pokemon Masters and the Mavericks from Proto Mario. I wanted to go with something along the same lines, so I just decided on calling you who have subscribed my brothers and sisters. But there is the question of how to subscribe, and should you? Now, while yes, subscribing does help the channel grow, and lets us YouTubers do more with our channels, presumably, I'm not entirely sure, what does it do for you? Well, from what I've heard, it keeps you up to date with your favorite channels. So you can know when a new video comes out for whatever channel you subscribe to. But it also lets us know that you like our content. Like commenting on our videos and leaving a like isn't enough, but I digress. Now, alternatively, if you wanted to know if one of your favorite channels had a new video, you could just look them up, but sure, I'd say subscribing might actually help with that as well. That means you don't have to actually type it in, you'll just get notified. At least, that's what I assume happens. I myself have not subscribed to any channels, and I do not expect you to subscribe either. But do as you wish, and let's go ahead and have this as a theory for you all to break. Because, like I said, I have not subscribed to anybody, so I do not know if this will work. If you are subscribed, does YouTube notify you when a video from a channel you subscribe to I can't choose my words properly. Does YouTube notify you when a video comes out from a channel that you subscribe to? Or do you not have to be subscribed in order to get notified about a video coming out? Because I've actually been notified a couple of times on certain videos being out, even though I was not subscribed to that channel. It's actually happened a couple of times. A video would come out, and I don't even watch that channel, and I get notified when that video comes out. It's very strange, but do as you will and tell me what your findings are in the comments below. This has been Drehan, and I am offline.